Hey, Rob.
Hello, ladies. Hello.
Hi, hi.
How is everyone? Hey, Linda,
Hey,
Good.
good.
Carol, Nadia. Nice to see everybody. Have a good week so far. Since the last time we gathered.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh, Miss
far,
Hanson, Mrs.
Oh,
Hanson.
Lynn.
She's joining us. Wonderful,
Oh,
wonderful. Lynn Hanson and I started, well, I don't know if Lynn started when I started, but we started a long time ago together. Right, Lynn? I don't know if that was our my first season,
Very
yours,
long
but
time ago.
it was a while back. It goes fast, goes really fast.
Very fast.
It's unbelievable. How is Fred while I got you?
He's good.
Oh, good. Tell him
We're
I
just
said
having
hello,
dinner.
please.
I just walked in the door. I said, I gotta come on.
Ah, welcome, Tess. We got Tess with us too. Wonderful. Everybody's doing good today. Yeah,
Good.
we all kept our reminiscing to a minimum, I hope, on today. This is not, it's been a long time since the events of this day, and it's something we'll never forget, but it's also something we don't need to consistently remind ourselves of because that's self-defeating. And hello, Miss Lynn. How are you?
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening. Good evening.
Lenny had some major surgery this week, and she came through with flying colors.
All right.
Delighted to see you.
Hmm.
Hey, sweetheart. Hi, Linda. Hi, Nadia. Hello, Carol. Hi, Tess. Hello, sweet Robert.
Good
So
evening.
I
Good
had
evening.
the most precious thing happen today. I was in a meeting and I got a message, random message. I said to the person that I'm meeting with, someone by the name of Ateen Fee Everpill just wrote to me, and I'm like, I've never heard that name before. And I finished my meeting. I had another meeting, and then I went and I read this message, and this is what the message said. Dear Lynn, I want to share something with you. I only know you from Melanie's World, where I have seen you pop up once in a while, and because of your choice of work, I started following you a month ago. You've inspired me to believe that there actually is a market for diving deeper into the realm of God and spirituality, not religion based, but heart based God connection. I want to thank you for that. Since I was 12, I turned 50 this October. I've had a very strong connection to and deep love for God in my heart, not even growing up in a religious family, but just by inner experiences. Thanks to you, I now feel and know that I also have a possibility for following this sweet inner calling to go out with this fine branch of mine. I am not ready just yet, but will be when I find my way in this. My other branch is nature based, but thanks to knowing my human design, Manny Jen, I now know why I can't limit myself to just one of them. I just wanted you to know how you have made your impression energetically in my life without ever meeting me or me meeting you or me being in any of your containers. Lots of love. Atene.
Oh,
And it was one of these moments when it was like, this is what my life is about. This is completely my life purpose. This is all that I've ever wanted to do, is to unwittingly, unknowingly touch people's lives. And there's a woman I'm going to be doing a series of 30 podcasts with her company. And I said to her, we never know who we're going to touch. And I believe with all the podcasts that the message that I have of love is going to spread to the world. I'm so excited. And I feel like that's what it's all about. This is what we're here for. This is what we came for. It couldn't be, it couldn't be, oh wow. Wendy just said to me, heads up, we're going to be flying on election day, so we may want to get an absentee ballot. Good point. Good point.
yeah.
Anyway, so it was a moment of affirmation for me that everything that I've had to go up against, everything that I've had to reconcile, everyone that has naysayed me, everyone that has said, what are you doing? hearing my own mother go, yeah, she's the one who said that she channels Jesus. What can I say? And like having my heart crash in a million pieces, saying, Mom, you don't believe me? And she's like, Lynn, really, you're trying to tell me you channel Jesus? And then the first time she saw me do a hands-on healing with a woman, and she saw the darkness come out of this woman. It was everything. She's like, oh my God, it's really true. And now she's like, have you met my daughter, Lynn? She channels Jesus. She's a total convert. Like how precious is that? But it's been a long road. And, I feel like I've only just begun. But I love, love, love my life and what it is that you and I do in the world, Rob, and the rest of you who are doing this too, bringing through these gorgeous messages. I was reading in this book about Jesus. It's called The Secret Life of Yeshua. And I have one of the few copies that's still in print because they've taken it out of print. Linda's going to be borrowing it. And there's this beautiful passage in the book where Yeshua meets a bumblebee. And the bumblebee says to him, you're like me. You harvest the sun. And that's really all we're here to do, is to share the light of God. We are sunbeams, unto the sun. God's the sun, and we're all the light. And all we're meant to do is share our light with people. And I love that that's the work that we do in the world, Pretty gorgeous. So, Robert, my dear, do you have a message for us today?
Yes, I do.
Good,
And
thank you.
messages that are specific to today's date, today. And just before you open the door into the room, that's what I was discussing.
Yeah, it's September 11th.
Yeah. It's a day. It's a day that we'll all remember.
Yeah.
And like anything else that doesn't make us smile, it's something that we're not to regurgitate and pick at the scabs and go back into all the details with. As much as that's what society wants us to do, and the remembrances, and I understand the memorials and the respect that we pay to those who have perished and those who continue to perish based on the effects of the site, the dust and the chemicals and all the things. And I know that in my town this year, our memorial where I work in Oyster Bay, not here in Huntington, the next adjoining town, we did put 8 more names on the memorial this year of first responders who have attributed their illness, and their family has attributed their passing to, the 9/11 circumstances. Events. So it's not that it's not to be remembered, but it's to be limited like anything else. Too much of anything is too much of anything. So this particular message starts with Yeshua. Do you have any words for us this day? Thank you, brother, for your inquiry. As you know, this date has been burned into your soul. It is a day in which so much of your life collectively has revolved around for more than 2 decades. It is a point in time where humanity stopped for a moment and began to realize how much darkness there actually is in this world. As it reared its ugly head, so many were activated, motivated, and emboldened to take action. Unfortunately, that action was against man itself. This manipulation of energy has created ever greater pain and suffering for so many as was intended. Yet it did not go as planned for the darkness. What it did create was a backlash that has continued to this present day and has exposed so much of what is and has been wrong with society. Human against human is a terrible thing. It is the ultimate autoimmune disease. When one aspect of a soul is positioned against another and anger and hatred take over, no one is a winner. This technique has been in existence since the beginning of duality. Oneness is the complete acceptance of one another and the mutual respect and love for all humans and all things, including Mother Gaia. This has been lost over time as the manipulation of humanity has occurred. So let today be a new beginning. Let today be that day that all came together to reunite as one family under God, because that is your truth. No one is separate. All are birthed from the same creative energy that flows from the great central sun upon all planets and civilizations, now and in previous go-rounds. This is a day of healing and letting go of all that makes you sad. Embrace a new beginning and expect only good things, and transmute the memory of this day and all that is associated with it to help the planet heal from this once and for all. It is never too late to change attitudes and the direction of humanity, and now is the time. Utilize the violet consuming flame like never before, and continue to purge your world of all negative and unwanted memories, energies, and events from your life, and start anew. This is what is occurring now, and no one is exempt from the forgiveness of self and the expansion into a world of peace and harmony for all. I am your Jesus, and I am in love with humanity.
He is. God, is that gorgeous? Thank you for that message.
Thank you. Thank you, Jesus. And like I said in the beginning, the technique, and we're going to go beat that dead horse again about that violet, but this is what they keep telling us. Utilize that violet to transmute all that doesn't serve us. Release all the baggage, the memories, the sadness, the shouldas, the wouldas, the couldas. Transmute it. Dump the bags. Walk empty-handed, hands-free, to enjoy all that life has for us. Okay? It's just that simple. And they keep saying it over and over again because I guess we're a little thick, or maybe we're not transmuting enough stuff.
I definitely need to hear certain things a few times.
Oh,
Hey,
yeah. And I hear it once a week at least.
Rob, what are you doing the last week of September? Did you guys decide yet?
The 29th, I will actually be around.
What about the 28th?
That weekend, yeah, we're not going to be going away.
Okay.
But
So-
we'll talk later about that.
Well,
As part of your group.
yeah, it's something that I'm being asked to talk about right now by Yeshua.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, nothing to apologize for. So several months ago, and I've talked about this briefly before, Deb, one of Robin, my soul sister, Deb Reposardi, a lot of power in a tiny little package. Deb Reposardi reaches out to me and she's like, Lynn, you got to go meet with this guy. His name is Eduardo Sturblot or something like that. He's from, where's he from? Brazil. He lives up in Seattle and he does something called pranic healing. And I go, what's that? And she said, someone asked me, what's the difference between pranic healing and Reiki? And she said she didn't know. So she decided to find out. So she literally went online, found this guy and had a session with him. And she's like, Lynn, he's amazing. I'm like, okay. His sessions are $120. Yeshua says, buy 2 of them. I'm like, okay. I go and I have the sessions with this guy and I'm like blown away. And I keep hearing this thing that goes, and he's spraying water. I have the sprays over here, spraying water to clear the dirty prana. So I have a bunch of sessions. I buy packages and packages and packages of 5 sessions, 5 sessions, 5 sessions. I'm giving them people. I have my mom doing using them myself. And I'm feeling amazing. And one day Deb says, hey, Eduardo's doing a demonstration today of how he works with the energy. And I'm like, oh, I'd love to see that because I'm usually on the couch with my eyes closed. So I go and I watch this thing. And the thing that I'm astounded with is I can see what he's doing. I can see the color. I can see the energy that he's working with. And there's violet flame. And I'm like, what is this? And I say to him, I want to get trained. And he said, well, you're really lucky. There's a center in New Jersey. There's 2 masters of the 8 that are still with the organization. Oh, guys, sorry, hold on a sec. I gotta clear off this clock alarm. So I go and I get trained. And like the spiritual junkie that I am, I've now done 10 classes in 10 weeks. Because that's who I am. But the one thing that Yeshua keeps saying is, this is how we heal. This is how I healed. You're using energy. And at one point, they teach you in one of the advanced classes called psychotherapy, the use of the electric violet. And who shows up but our man, Saint Germain. And I'm like, what are you doing? He says, you know how they say that this has an energy of its own soul, and it knows where to go? He said, that's me. So it's Saint Germain and the violet flame. And I'm like, oh my God. By the way, does this look like I'm wearing red? I think it looks like I'm wearing red. This thing is actually fuchsia. This thing is actually pink, but whatever. I don't know what's happened to the settings, but everything looks different to me. Who cares? So because I'm so obsessed with this, and by the way, our precious Linda and our precious Carol have both been trained in this gorgeous art. Carol got trained in New Jersey, and Linda just got trained up in Omega. She and I traipsed up there and did a week-long retreat. God, that was so much fun. And we got trained in these extraordinary techniques, and now they're actually also trained in crystal, because you get to use crystals, because crystals are living beings, and Jesus used crystals, and the Essenes used crystals, and the Egyptians and the Atlanteans. So by the grace of God, Dawn, who's my teacher, my original teacher from June, is coming into Huntington. And she's teaching one weekend the basic training from 9 till 6 here at the newly reopened Soma Life Sanctuary, which was opened for the Melchizedek ordinations. And then she's coming back the next weekend to do the advanced and the psychotherapy. And Yeshua just said to me, tell Rob to be there. So don't shoot the messenger, passing the message on.
Righty.
And you are cordially invited.
Thank you, Yeshua. I
You're
guess
welcome.
I'll be there.
Okay.
Since
And,
I'm not going pumpkin and apple picking.
And for anybody else who wants to attend, but they're at a distance, there is going to be the Zoom option. So I've reviewed now. God, this could be my 3rd review. Every time I review, because the first time, it's literally like drinking out of fire hose. You're like, but every time I go through it, I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about the, clearing, touching the third eye, or, oh yeah, I forgot about that, or, oh yeah, and now it was so funny. So do you remember Debbie Quinn and Cookie that used to come to meditations with us on Thursday? So Debbie calls me the other day. I'm like, oh my God, are you in town? She calls on Monday. She goes, yeah. I said, can you meet for dinner? So the 3 of us went to the shed, and we're sitting at a square table. I'm sitting in the middle. I got Debbie on my right, Cookie on my left. And we're like, so what's happened in the past 7 years since we've seen each other? 5 years since we've seen each other. And Debbie goes, I had knee replacement. And Yeshua goes, heal her. I go, Deb, is it okay if I do some work on you? She goes, absolutely. So I erect a green flame next to me, right? You intend and you erect this green flame next to you. I test, and it's there. I put my left hand to my heart to remember to be heart-based. And I start doing this sweeping process of clearing away the dirty prana from her. And I'm throwing it into the green flame. I do like 8 swipes. I had invoked, and so I cut the cords and everything's done. And I go, how's your knee? And she moves her knee and she goes, what did you just do to me? He said, I cleared away the dirty prana. And then Cookie goes, hold on a second. What about my TMJ? And I go, okay, right jaw minor chakra. And I bring back the green flame, put my hand to my heart, sweep the stuff out of her jaw, and I go, how's it feel? And she goes, ask me after dinner. I gotta chew and we'll find out. So after dinner, I turn around and I go, how's your jaw? And she goes, oh, it doesn't hurt. And I go, Deb, how's your knee? And she goes, it doesn't hurt. So I'm like, I'll keep working on you. But literally, I'm sitting here at dinner. I push the green flame back down. Green flame is what you use in lieu of a salt bowl if you don't have salt. And you can just like pull your hands off and clear them that way. Otherwise, you're using sprays. But I'm sitting here going, I'm sitting at dinner at the shed in Huntington. And I'm like pulling prana out of one girl's knee, pulling prana out of one girl's jaw. And they're both like, it still doesn't hurt. What did you do? And I'm like, I healed the way Jesus healed. So I'm just saying, he wants those tools back in your little paws, Mr. Scarpa.
Everyone. Okay.
So Carol, Linda, I'm telling you, everybody, And Linny, don't think I'm not coming for you next, because that's happening. Lynn's one of my best friends. She's off camera right now. She just had some major work done. Hi, beautiful. Anyway, so it's going to be online for anybody who wants to do it. Short of selling your children and your cat, mortgage everything to be in these classes because they're extraordinary. Linda or Carol, would you like, either of you like to talk about your experience? This is not off topic. This is so on topic. It's not even funny. Linda or Carol, would you like to talk about your experiences? You both just, Carol doesn't want to say Pete. Linda, get over here, baby.
It was a very incredible experience to witness people receiving healings as a demonstration, and then to have the techniques done to, the instructor, they look for volunteers, and I'm like, pick me. And I got work done, and it's amazing what it feels like, what's coming out of your hands when you're working on somebody. It's instant. You just feel the healing, and you feel the person being healed. It's just so cool. So cool.
It's hard to define in some ways, except the results are. So my mom took a nasty fall a few months back, cracked her head open in 2 places, and had this intense pain where she had 2 subdural hematomas, major brain trauma. She would go to sleep with a headache, and she'd wake up with a headache. And so I said to Eduardo, months ago, can you help her? And he was like, yeah. And he literally did 1 session with her, and the headaches went away. And I was like, what the fuck is this? Years ago, James and I used to go out to Patchogue to a place, Tranquility Within, and he would do the handpan and I would lead a meditation. There was this lovely woman named Lauren, who is a master cellist, and she would come and participate. And she sent me an email, and she goes, Lynn, I had this really crazy dream. You were living in New Mexico in this little house, and you were doing healing work on people. And I'm like, that's never going to happen. Except for the fact that I keep being drawn to move to Mexico. And I now have a healing modality that Yeshua says, this is how we heal. So I recently have a painting that's entered my world. I don't remember if I showed it to you guys last week, but it's my higher self. And in the class that we did over the weekend, it was all about how the cords come down and they come through the crown, and how your higher self connects to you, literally like how you would plug in the internet. And there's 3 cords that come at different times during your inception, and right before you're born, and right after you're born, and all that. And I'm looking at these paintings that Matanya has done, and I'm like, oh my God, that's prana. Literally prana that Jesus has coming out of his hands. These little flashcards, these gorgeous cards that Matanya painted of him. I had a painting of Heather, a painting of Magdalene, and Yeshua goes, have her paint me. But look, when she painted him, look what's coming out of his hands. Prana. Pure white. That's the very last thing she put in. And I think he was deciding whether or not to have that on the painting, because people would be like, why is there white light coming out of Jesus' hands? That, ladies and gentlemen, is prana. Pranic healing is done. This is how we did it. This is how we do it to it. And then, so then here's the painting of my higher self, Sahaniel. And she is known as She Who Remembers. She is the keeper of the records. But look at what's coming out of her hands. Pure white light prana with golden prana all around her. This is her spiritual cord. Carol says, I like that there is a sacredness to this process, not just another energy modality. Oh my God. Listen, this is something that they said when we were up there. They said, it's very rare to have someone that is able to have spirituality and, what was it that they said? Oh, healing and spirituality in the same program. And I'm like, I do that. You know, I teach healing techniques and it's all about spirituality. By the way, Matanya also painted the unicorn. And then she also painted Melchizedek. So one day, Matanya and I are talking. She lives in the Netherlands. And she's got the Sahaniel painting and the Melchizedek painting across from each other. And I go, what's going on? She said, they're talking to each other. She was painting Sahaniel. She took a break. Then she painted Melchizedek and Metatron. Then she finished painting them. Then she went back to painting Sahaniel. And then one day she comes in and she puts the light language in the borders. Can you guys see the light language in the borders? Here in this little border, there's light language. And then another day she comes back and she goes, I have to add another thing. And she adds the gold leaf. And then she adds all these little gold flecks. And it's all just golden prana. But look at that. That's pure. That's the healing energy that we use to heal people. And that's what's taught in this course. So listen, I know I talk about a lot of things and I know that I'm like, you got to try this and you got to try that. But I'm telling you, for the rest of my life, all I'm going to talk about is this. So sorry, and you're welcome, because there's nothing like this. Like, you know, I found my final resting place, and it is the world of pranic healing. So I've done 10 classes, but 7 certificates, and there's 21. And I've registered for a bunch, and I'm like, yeah, I can't go. So now I have this $1,500 credit with them for classes that I'm going to take in March. But in the meantime, I'm just going to keep reviewing and reviewing and reviewing. Yeshua said to me, it's going to take 7 years. But I've never seen anything like this. I've never seen the immediacy of how effective this is, how it resonates, how I remember it. And then when you get the crystals, oh, it's a whole other thing. All right, I'll stop talking. I just talked for half an hour.
Oh. So sure, show you're allowed.
No, it's our show, baby.
Does anybody have any questions or anything before we go into our next segment, next half hour? Let's take a look. Let me put my glasses on because they make it easier
Brought
to
to
read
you
the
by our
screen.
sponsor, Pranic Healing by Master
That's
Joe
right.
Dewey. Listen, this it's so reasonable, the cost and the pricing. And I mean, the fact that Dawn's coming from Atlanta to come and do this. I go, Dawn, only a few people have signed up. She goes, Lynn, they'll come. She said, I've been praying about this. I said, I asked Jesus, like, is this happening? He goes, yeah, it's happening. We just launched a mastermind with 36 people in it. So I've been a little preoccupied with that. But yeah, life's pretty amazing right now. Anyway.
So Carol commented and said, I like that there is a sacredness to the whole process, not just another energy modality.
Yeah, it is.
And
it's beautiful.
Yeah. And that's what these techniques that are being revealed
Yes,
to
Michelle.
us are inclusive of so many other things, not just the words, not just the intent. It's all of it wrapped into one package, and it's all about the energy. It's all about our mindset. It's all about where we are in our lives. Because if you're running around with all kinds of regrets and issues and problem of the day kind of things, you're not ready for this type of stuff.
Right.
Because you have to be in a clear space, or at least be able to carve out a safe space as big as you need for it to be, to then take your energy and help to realign someone else's. Because that's what we're doing when we do any of these healing modalities. It's about helping other people to get their frequencies back in alignment.
Yep.
We don't do it. We're not a healer in the sense of
absolutely
I'm a miracle worker. That's not what it's about.
It's
just like the doctor.
Yeah. It's a doctor through us.
Makes a diagnosis, writes a prescription, and hopes to God it's the right one. You know.
Yeah, but I think,
and with a lot of positive intent, they work. And when the recipient takes it,
go ahead.
But when the recipient takes it, how much of it is the placebo effect, the belief that this is what I need to heal me, and then the physical or chemical aspect of it. So a lot of it, 90% of it, 95% of it's all upstairs. the belief that you can heal,
Yeah.
and that someone can help you to realign with those frequencies and energies and get you back on track. And it goes for everything in our lives. It goes for our relationships, our physical, our jobs. It's all about staying in resonance or harmony, right? With
Yep.
all of those things. And when you go from room to room and there's a person in one room, they're at one frequency and one vibration. Another room is someone else. You go to work, you're dealing with different frequencies throughout the day. Imagine if you're one of the people who answers the phone all day and you have to constantly pick up on the energy of the person that's calling because they need something, and you have to then adjust, acclimate to that person so that you can be sweet as pie and help them with what they need, right?
Yeah.
So it's all about staying dynamic.
Exactly.
This is what they're saying about
So
staying dynamic.
Michelle just asked if there's a payment plan, and I just changed the model for my business. I used to run everything through PayPal, and we're now doing something called SamCart, which offers something called SamPay. And with SamPay, we now offer, I think it's called Klarna and Affirm, which are payment plans that you can do that are like 3-month payment plans, 6-month payment plans, 12-month payment plans. So if that's something that any of you need, it's available. Absolutely available. Anyway, it's amazing. It's so funny. I said to Yeshua, how come I never came to this before? And he's like, you weren't ready. I'm like, I'm like, should I be insulted? And he's like, no. He said, look at how you're able to embrace this. Look at what you're able to do with this. How you're going to be talking about this, how you're going to be sharing this, how you're going to be applying this. And he said, you just weren't ready before.
Well, that's the message we get early on in this journey of reawakening is spirit only gives you what you need when the time is right and when you can handle it.
Yeah.
Okay? They don't dump it all on you all at once.
No.
Because you're pretty much guaranteed to fall apart. Each one of you is on this journey. You've been on this journey of self. I'm sure some for a little longer than others, but you've all been on it for a while. You're not newbies to this. You wouldn't be here right now with Lynn and I. So little by little, you've knocked on the door, you've asked the questions, and Spirit has given you answers or guidance or hints. And each time it's like they say, muscle testing. You don't go to the gym and lift 500 pounds the first day. You start with 5 pounds and then you go to 6 pounds and 8 and 10. And sometimes you might jump, but other times it's a little, and it's incremental. Okay. And that's what this great awakening or reawakening is. It's an incremental shift into a higher dimensional reality,
Right.
into a new paradigm. But you can't go it alone because it's a collective experience in many, many ways. So you can have your experiences and go out, but the big shift is going to include a lot more people than just you or I. Lynn, what do you think?
I always was like, give me the strongest dose. I can handle it. And there's a technique that they call the master technique, in which they open up an energy center. By the way, they work with 12 chakras. And I was like, 12 chakras? How do they do that? Because they're including the soul star, the galactic, the one that's 10 to 12 inches above the head. But also they're using 11 chakras in the body, including something called the Mang Main, which is the back of the belly button. So there's a master healing technique. And what you do is you open and you clear. So the energy comes up from the root chakra, from the basic chakra, and it goes to the Mang Main. And depending upon how much energy you can handle, it kind of is like a moderator. What do you call that?
Governor.
Like a governor. Exactly. Thank you. I knew the word was in there. So the first time I did the advanced class and Dawn did it, they're like, you shouldn't do this on people over the age of 45. And I'm like, I'm 62. And she goes, get up here. And when Master Glenn did it with us, he did it very, very gently, but Dawn like let me have it. And so much energy came through. I was like, I'm sick. I have to go back to the hotel. I was not ready for that much clean energy coming through. You know, it took me a day to go, oh my God. So when Yeshua said to me, you weren't ready for this yet, he said, do you know how much more light so I'm upstairs in my bedroom, and so Honey calls me from the bedroom, and she's like, hello, you left me downstairs, bring me upstairs. And I walk downstairs, come and get the painting. And we're walking up the stairs, and she's talking to me. She's very, very chatty. She chats a lot. And she says, do you know how many people are lucky enough to have their higher self painted, much less, in their proximity? And she said, we try to talk to you guys all the time, but you use distractions, and you have your iPhones, and you have your iPads, and you have your games, and you have your pets, and you have your family, and you have your this, and you have your that. But to just sit in silence, the sound of silence, and just receive from them and hear them, I'm like, but there's another episode of, murder in the building. Only murders in the building. That's possibly more important than talking to my higher self, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing is more important. Rob, one of my favorite things about you is that you are fearless when it comes to talk to them. You reach out to them. You're like, what do you want me to know? Selfie, who have we got today? You are one of the true servant men of God. Like I've always said, if I was ever going to get married again, and that's a long shot, he'd have to be a man of God who just, blew my socks off. Someone that was a servant leader, someone that was just committed, to serving God like I am, that there was nothing that was, more important. And I just love that about you. Like you take care of your family. You take care of a lot of people, all the people that you work with, the family, the extended family, all of our friends. But yet you really make this a priority for you. And I cannot wait for your freaking books to come out.
Mm-hmm. When you say the word serving God, and in so many of the messages, we're reminded that we are that God.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So when you serve someone else, you're serving yourself.
But you're not serving the ego aspect of self. You're serving the
exactly,
God aspect of self.
And that everything goes into the kitty. Everything adds up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when each of us serve ourselves first, right?
Mm-hmm.
Putting yourself first, that oxygen mask on you first.
Yeah.
So you can help someone else. And then from there to go out and whatever it is that you do to help the collective grows within the Fibonacci sequence. This is what they've told us over and over again, right? The duality scale.
Yeah.
Okay. And this is the rising tide that's lifting all boats and getting us all out of the harbor and on our way to the next destination. We're all in this together. Yeah. I'm sorry, Lynn?
The re-rising of Atlantis,
Yeah. And metaphorically, absolutely. That's what it means, I guess, huh? Because we were all Atlanteans at one point in one form or another. Mm-hmm. And it's our time to resurrect the energy, the positive energy of the Atlantean dream, and re-expand it into our next experience. And it's here and now. It's what we make of it. It's so important that we stay positive, expect the most benevolent outcome of every situation, that we see our problems dissolve in front of us. The bills, the issues, the repairs, just expect them to get done. Just expect that, because that's the energy we're moving into. This is the new energy of creation that is here for all of us. We signed up for this. We've worked for it lifetime after lifetime, and now it is here. It's here to embrace, to accept, to enjoy.
Can I tell you what my biggest miracle was today?
Please do.
Last week, Astra brought this tiny little field mouse, literally like this big, into the house, this dark little creature. And he was so fast. He leapt out of Astra's mouth. Astra doesn't have all his teeth anymore. He got a bunch of his teeth pulled. So he brings me this thing. Poor little mouse. He's got him in the living room, and then he makes his way into this room. And I know he's like living over there in the corner near my desk. And I hear him today. And I bring Astra in, and I'm like, Astra's going to scare him out of here. So Astra tries to chase him. Astra gets bored with it. He goes outside, and Yeshua says, leave the door open. And I see the mouse scurry across the floor, and then it gets scared and it goes back, and then it scurries across the floor, and it's scared and it comes back. And then all of a sudden I'm like, go for it. I'm thinking to myself, go for it, little mouse. And he goes zooming out the door. So my great miracle of the day is the mouse is out of the house. It's the little things in life. There's that, and then there's all this other stuff. But, you know, the fact that that little mouse got his freedom, I was so happy for it. You got to take pleasure where you can. I have great pleasure in everything else that happens. You know, I got a beautiful new crystal water bottle as a gift from my mentor. You know, we had a beautiful meeting with the Magdalene group today. Got to say hi to my morning platform people. You know, like life is just gorgeous. I found a new assistant to help me. She's going to come over and make me celery juice and do my laundry and help me with stuff that needs to be done around the house. Another beautiful Alicia friend. But boy, that mouse getting its freedom, like that's all I want for everybody is freedom. Seriously, I want freedom for everybody. That mouse was representative for me of people having freedom. I want people to have freedom from pain. I want people to have freedom from whatever it is that haunts them. And I'm telling you, it all comes down to energy and prana, ki, chi, pneuma, mana, whatever the heck you want to call it, you know, to be able to just sweep that away for people and burn it in a green, all-encompassing flame. And someone's like, my knee doesn't hurt. My TMJ is gone. The mouse has its freedom. Like my life is, I could die a happy woman right now. Take me, I'm yours. Anyway.
No, we're not allowed to go.
I know.
Not allowed to go. They got plans for us. All of us.
Oh, I know.
They told me many times, you're not going anywhere. You have to stay. You got to hold the door. You got to wait. Don't rush. Everybody's got to catch up. So that's where it's at. That's where it's at. We're not going anywhere. We're going through the living ascension. And with each new day is another great awakening, is another recognition of another aspect of self, another layer of self.
Yeah.
And you take it, you have the opportunity to accept it or not, review it or not, but it's most wise to take a quick look at it, see if that aspect of you serves you. If it doesn't, transmute it, give it up to God, let it go. And something else will come up tomorrow. And you'll just keep doing that. And the more you do that, the lighter you will become, the more you will be able to hear what's being said to you or transmitted to you via the ethers. It's like cleaning up the static. All those things playing in the background of your mind create static. And that static impedes your ability to connect with your higher self because there's too much going on. It's that simple. It's just that simple.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of this whole great awakening is there's nothing to learn. There's nothing to do except turn it all off. Sit in that silence, like Lynn said, showed us that statue. Just sit in the quiet of your own space, your own head. Because as soon as you sit in that quiet space, boy, they start talking. They know, oh, good, we got you now. And then, for me at least, you know, then I just start to hear a lot of chatter. And it's about saying, okay, one at a time, I come one at a time. And then whatever energy I recognize, because sometimes there's an accent in what I hear, or the cadence, or the way things are spoken, and then I will recognize that energy. Sometimes I will just start writing and listening to what's being said and have to ask, who is that energy? But most times I'm able to decipher it. Just like when you hear a friend, you recognize their voice and you know who they are. You don't have to say, well, is that you? You just know. And with each experience and each opportunity to connect, you will build a greater and greater repertoire of energies, and you'll be able to recognize them like that. And you just like talking to a friend that you haven't spoken to in years. It's right where you left off. And in this case, they know what we need better than someone we haven't spoken to in 5 years. And they can give us really the best advice you could ever imagine. And I don't think they can give us bad advice. I don't think our higher self, it's not capable of that. It's just not capable of. That's what I've figured out. That's what I know at this point. Okay, does anybody else have anything they would like to share with us tonight? What do we got?
I got to share something with you.
Please do.
I have this friend named Wendy, and Wendy has 4 cats, but now she has, his name is number 5.
Oh boy.
She says, rescue mission, 2 babies. I have 1, my daughter has the other. I said, oh my God, he's gorgeous. Please keep him. She said, yes, I will name him number 5. So people call me a crazy cat lady because I have 1. This is the original crazy cat lady. Isn't he precious?
My son's cat's name is 7. I don't know, from some movie.
Oh,
So yes, and thank God we keep cats to a minimum. I have a lot of dogs in my home, but thank God because my wife shows and breeds dogs. So we do have we had 3 puppies come and stay with us as of yesterday. But cats we just keep to 1. And I appreciate that. He does his job. I wouldn't want anyone to interfere, Wouldn't want him to go on strike. So it's all up to him. So does anybody have anything that they want to talk about?
any questions? Anything?
Please, please.
I
Tess,
have
you're awfully quiet tonight. You must be studying.
Tess.
Yeah.
Tess, are you busy studying? Maybe. He showed up earlier today too. It was great to see him. I have a little Yeshua ben Joseph for us. Would y'all like
Oh,
to
please share. Please share.
chat with Yeshua himself? He says, I really like the version that she created of me. Notice that he does not have blue eyes, ladies and gentlemen, because he had brown eyes. Baby's got brown eyes.
It would make sense.
I love how she got the light around him. So I have the original painting, and there was a point where I was being present with the painting. The painting started moving. Oh, I get goosebumps just thinking about it. Like moving, and I said to him, don't you dare come out of that painting. I am, no way, no how. I cannot. You are not allowed to. You stay right there. And then the painting went, and it went solid again. And I was like, man. So I go on TikTok and I'm like, I had this crazy experience, and here's my painting. And Yeshua started moving, and someone goes, can you please take a picture of the painting moving? Like, can you please make a video of the painting moving? Come on, people. Come on.
Here's your sign. Here's your sign.
Happening in here. All in here.
This is come on. And but then again, that's why everybody says, oh, those spiritual people are all woo-woo and crazy. Because we're telling them that paintings are moving and things, the eyeballs are following us around.
Greetings, beloveds.
Welcome, welcome.
It is my delight to be with all of you. We appreciate the laughter and the joviality, the joy. Beloveds, we have shared this with Sahana, and what we have said is that when there is the moment of crossing over and the dust settles, this is all that we wish to know. Did you experience joy? Did you allow your heart to be open? Did you allow yourself to lower the walls, to remove the resistance, to take off the armor and the shackles, and to allow your heart to be so open, to allow your memories to be so clear, to allow your minds to be so receptive that you can look upon another and say, ah, yes, I remember you. It is so good to see you again when you seemingly meet a total stranger. There are no strangers, beloved. Imagine that you walk around with what looks like a suit of armor that is merely a bunch of tiny little mirrors reflecting off of you. Think of a disco ball for those of
I'm
you
just
who
going to
were
say that.
there indeed in the days of disco, and imagine that your clothing has these minuscule facets of reflective mirrors. And you meet someone and you say, I do not like them. I do not like them. I do not like their energy. I do not like the way they speak. I do not like the way they look. I do not like the way they smell. I do not like the way they sound. Beloveds, it is only ever us. Ever. Always. All that I have ever asked, all that we have ever asked of each other, of ourselves, and that we ask of you, is to be as we are, which is to love first and foremost in all things, to allow love what leads the day. When you know that all you are is the light, all you want to do is share that light with others. When you know that all anyone is the light, all you want to do is drink. You want to drink of them. For as each being harvests the light, it is meant to be shared. We are all very much made of earth and water and air and fire. The fire is the blood that runs through our veins. And you know that a large percentage of us is made of water. In this rendition of what it is to be human, beloveds. And what you are meant to do is to share your light and to share your blood and to share your water and your breath with one another. What do trees do? Trees work through a process of photosynthesis. And what do they produce? Oxygen. And what is it that we need to live? Beloveds, 40 days and 40 nights in the desert without food and without drink. I lived on light. I lived on breath, God's breath. For God's breath is what breathes us. But when we allow ourselves to say, oh no, my mind, I will hand the reins over to my mind. And it is this, if the horses are running wildly, the wild horses within your mind, beloveds, are what need to be trained. And you do this through silence. And you do this through consideration of what it is that you are choosing to think and what it is that you are choosing to manifest. And when you allow yourself to sit quietly and to breathe, breathe with me now, beloveds. Close your eyes. Take an inhale in through the nose. Let it circulate through the body. And as you exhale through the mouth, allow any thoughts that you do not wish to entertain to be released. Allow them to be expelled. God will gladly take them back. Notice that you feel quieter and calmer. Take another inhale in, beloveds, with intentionality. Imagine breathing in white light. As you breathe in this white light, it comes through, it circulates through the body, looking for any shadow, any congestion, any darkness that it can take. And as you exhale, it releases and you feel even lighter. One more breath, beloved. Breathe in deeply. And as you exhale, let it all go, beloveds. There is a movie called Green Mile, and there was a beautiful being who was able to receive the darkness from others and transmute it back to the light. You all have these capabilities, beloved ones. You have all been trained, and it is time to remember, and it is time to awaken. It is time for the light workers that you are to bring the gifts and the tools and the teachings that you have from the lands of old back to be of service to humanity. This is what I ask of you, beloved ones. I thank you. I love you. And I am truly with you, for you are as I am always. May the
Thank you, Master Yeshua. Thank you.
may you know that you are always with us, as we are always with you, beloved ones. And indeed, we will speak with you again. Ooh. Mm. With more of my darkness being gone, with so much that has been removed from me, when they come in now, they come in more deeply than they ever have before. I channeled Magdalene earlier today. Nadia was there. Deborah was there. Tess was there. Michelle was there. What comes through now? There's more room for them because there's less of my crap. It's the best way I could put it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Linda and I had this extraordinary experience where in class some major old darkness was taken from me. And at the end, when it was done, Dawn, the teacher in the back of the room, said she heard a voice that said, 100% of it is gone. And there's just more room for them now. I don't know if you can feel the difference. I can feel the difference. It's extraordinary.
I did notice it earlier, Lynn, in
Right?
class. I had said that to myself. I was like, wow, today it was, it was more passionate. It was deeper. I did notice that.
Thank you, baby. Yeah.
Yeah, it made me cry. So I knew, I thought, it's really getting to me.
The
It was
love
beautiful.
wash.
It
When it
was
makes you
beautiful.
cry, that's the love wash.
Yeah, yeah.
It's interesting, Linda. Ever since our week up there, I cry so easily. We spent a week at the Omega Institute doing this training, and it was a second time training for me. It was a first time training for her. And like, I'm just so moved to tears by everything, everyone, including myself. And my prayers have just, helped me to just be of greater service. Anyway, I thank you all so much for being here. Thank you for tonight. It was really precious. Rob, I love you, babe, so much.
too.
Thank you for
Thank
being
you very much.
my soul brother on this journey.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us again. And I hope you enjoyed the conversation. We'll continue again next week, right? We're good for one more week, Lynn, right? And then the
We are.
following week we'll be off.
I think a couple weeks were good.
Okay.
I don't know, something.
Oh, right. We're 2 more weeks. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
only the 11th.
Thank you
Michelle,
both.
You're welcome. Michelle,
Right,
take a
thank
look
you.
at the website, my love. Go to the page for Pranic Healing. The class is September 28th and 29th. You're so welcome, Carol. And Linda's coming back. She's coming back as a reviewer. I'm just gonna keep studying this and learning this and absorbing it. and allowing myself to remember it, to just, I mean, I was so proud. It's like, I don't have anybody here. It's just me and Astra. Mom's off, traipsing around the countryside, doing her thing. I think she's in Southampton, and then she's heading to Atlantic City. So, I don't have anybody that I'm interacting with except online. There's like a delivery guy, and I'm always hoping that there's, I can hug him or something like that. I have no human contact. I have a fluffy gray cat. So
it's funny that wasn't it our message last week was to tell Lynn to get her ass out of the house. Then someone channeled one of the energies, a Hathor maybe.
Yeah.
So
makes sense.
Oh, to join the gym. I think that was part of it. Was to get you to join.
For her to do that yoga. That's what it was.
Yoga, that's what it was. The yoga. I spoke to her afterward. I did call her after our session and said, this is what you were told. How's that going?
Honestly, I completely forgot.
Yeah,
this
me
is
too.
honestly, I completely forgot. Nadia, thank you. Thank you. So yeah, that needs to happen. Well, I found this girl. At least I didn't find this girl. Alicia found this girl. And her name is Alexandria, and she lives down the 135. And she's going to start coming over to the house. She's going to start preparing food for me. She's going to help me with my 17 pages of to-do lists. She's going to help me with celery juice, getting the laundry to the cleaners. She's going to help me with so much stuff. She's like, it'd be really good if you had, different water. And I'm like, I have a Kangen machine. She's like, oh, I said, except it needs to go to the shop and get repaired. And, I have to pay for, I have all these things that have to be done. And she's like, I'll do them. I'm calling her my chief wellness officer.
Yeah. In the old days, it was called Gal Friday, right? Wasn't that the term?
She's going to be
I don't know if we're allowed to use that one anymore.
Yes. And she's,
just,
Oh, wait, here's another miracle today. So I've been traipsing down to New Jersey, and then I had to go somewhere, and I heard from Delaware, Maryland, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, New York, and another state. And I got 24 notices in the mail for what they were calling toll violations to the tune of like $600. Something ridiculous. And I only had to pay like 50 something dollars because they're like, you're not registering on our fast track. And I'm like, well, here's my fast track account. And they're like, well, is it valid? And I'm like, of course it's valid. They ding me like $90 every month, $45 at a time, because I've been zipping here, there, and everywhere for classes and all kinds of things. Everything got waived except for the actual tolls. I mean, by the grace of God. That and the mouse, I had one of the best days of my life. Truly.
There you go.
And I got to channel Magdalene, and I got to channel Yeshua, and I got to see all of you. So I'm happy. Thank you. Thank you for being in my life. I love you all madly. I'm happy that it's us. I love being with you. Thank you.
We'll see you all next week. Enjoy.
Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Lynn.
Okay.
You're
Keep
welcome.
clearing out that baggage.
You guys, there are payment plans. I literally set it up so that you can have any kind of payment plan you want. So if it tickles your fancy, it's going to be online. It's going to be in person. Come experience this magic. This is how Jesus healed. It's so simple. It's mind-blowing how simple it is. And it's really powerful and effective. Love you all.